Curry fans, have I got a tasty recipe for you today? I've got a delicious butterbean and peanut curry. I have actually tweeted about this and mentioned it on my Facebook page just recently, and telling you that I'm going to do this with a Gujarati style of spices. And what do I mean by that? Well, Gujarati cooking, very much the cooking that I featured in the other video that I've just done in RKS Sweets, tends to use a particular blend of spices. Your black mustard seeds, your hing, or also known as asafoetida, those red long Kashmiri type chilies, cumin seeds, so whole spices, and then always with that sort of background sweet element. You tend to find with the Gujarati Western Indian cooking, it has that sweet background element. So we're going to use a little bit of jaggery, a little bit of unrefined cane sugar in there to give it that sort of characteristic taste. I'm sure you're going to absolutely love this recipe. It's one of my own. I've been cooking it for about 20 odd years. I'm using butter beans, also known as lima beans, not often used in Asian cooking. They tend to use the other sort of beans, mung beans and rajma and whatnot. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy this recipe. But just to touch base with you about one or two other things very briefly. As some of you know, if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, this week I've been at Adie's restaurant, Fusion in Alford, and we were cooking a few recipes together. We had some people come down to meet us there, and they had a meal there at the restaurant, which was really nice to meet those people and to cook for them. So we'll be putting up some videos about that in the near future, so keep your eye out on this channel for that. Also, I'd like to just mention that just not too long ago in a recent video I mentioned about a new YouTube channel that I'm going to launch soon. That channel's going to be called You Are What You Eat, obviously a very well-known phrase, and it's all about healthy cooking and healthy eating and what is healthy eating and foods that inspire us to eat more healthily. Now, we're all bombarded, aren't we, with all sorts of contradictory and conflicting information every day, every week in the newspaper. One minute fat's good for you, then it's bad for you, sugar's good for you, then it's bad for you, coffee's good for you, then it's bad for you. You get the idea. And then there's this diet and there's that diet, and I'm sure you'd agree that most diets just don't work. So in this channel I'm going to be getting behind all the propaganda and finding out really what is healthy eating. Is there such a thing? Can we eat healthily and not have to worry about what we eat and be on a constant diet? That will be featured in my new channel. And if you like to sort of get behind the what, the why and the wherefore, then you'll like that channel, because apart from recipes, I will also be looking into some of the science, some of the latest studies and latest information to find out really what is healthy and what is good for us, and perhaps dispel a few of those myths. So look out for that coming soon. So let's cut the waffle. I am trying to make my videos less lengthy. They are a bit too long sometimes, so I will be doing that. I've not quite mastered it on this video, but in my new recipes I will try and make them a bit shorter for you, so you can just get to the recipe and get on with the cooking. So let's see what recipe we've got today and what ingredients we're going to need to cook it. Okay, this is a quick and easy recipe, hence we're using tinned butter beans, also known as lima beans. We're using 2 of them for this recipe. The recipe will serve 4. Okay, here are our tempering spices. In other words, these are the spices that are going to infuse the oil or ghee, because we're going to use ghee for this recipe, with a flavour. What we've got is 2 Kashmiri type chilies, the large long red ones. We're going to break these into halves and put them in our oil. We have 1 teaspoonful of the black mustard seeds. They will go in first because they take the longest to crackle or pop. We're going to have to wait for these to pop. We have our Gujarati secret weapon, which is hing. I mentioned this in a tweet just recently, or known as asafoetida. This is made from the resin of a particular plant. Very, very pungent, used in small quantities. We've just got about 1/3, or just a bit less than 1/3 of a teaspoon. We have 1 teaspoonful of brown cumin seeds, and we have 3 ears or sections of aniseed, star anise. This works really well with this sweet curry, because this is a sweet background to this curry. So those are our tempering spices. Okay, for our powdered spices, we've got a teaspoon and a half of ground cumin seeds. We've got 2 teaspoonfuls of ground coriander. We've got 1 heaped teaspoonful of turmeric. We have 1 teaspoonful of deji mirch, which is it's a good quality chili powder. A little bit more about that later, but it's not as hot as some of the hot varieties that you get that have too many chili seeds in. It's made from good quality red chilies, has a nice colour as well. And then we've got 1 scant teaspoonful of garam masala, which will be our finishing spice. We've got 2 medium onions, finely chopped. The finer the chop, the nicer the gravy. We've got 4 small to medium tomatoes that are very ripe, nice and red and sweet and ripe, finely chopped. And we have 2 green chilies, finely chopped with the seeds. We do want a little bit of heat here, and these are the Asian variety. And we have 4 medium to large cloves of garlic, finely chopped. No ginger in this recipe. And for our peanut element, because this is a quick and easy recipe, we're not going to take raw peanuts and roast them and grind them and all that, because that takes too long. I am recommending that you use a good quality peanut butter. This one I particularly recommend, the Meridian brand, because it is 100% peanuts. No palm oil, no sugar, no additives, just peanuts. Great in Asian cooking, great in smoothies and healthy recipes. More about that coming, but this is a great brand. I buy this huge tub like this, and it's a kilo, and it's about a £5. It'll last you for ages, keeps in the fridge great. So we'll be using 4 tablespoonfuls of this in our curry. And this next ingredient is another Gujarati element, if you like. They use jaggery gore quite a lot in their dishes to add that sweet background flavour, and it's just basically unrefined cane sugar. There is a jaggery that is made from palm sugar. We're not using that one, we're using the one that comes from cane sugar. It has that caramelly sort of molasses tone, which is very, very sort of typical of Gujarati cooking. We're going to use about a tablespoonful of this crushed. It just comes in a jar like this in cubes. It's absolutely delicious, it really is, it's really tasty. But we'll break that up and put about a tablespoonful in. You can add more or less depending on how much sweet element you like in your curry. So we've got 3 tablespoonfuls of butter ghee in our pan. We've got it nice and hot, and we've just added in our 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds. Can you see them popping in the pan? And it's smoking a little bit. That's what you want. These need to pop. If they don't pop, you won't get that lovely pungent flavour from the mustard seeds. So that's why you put them in first. So now that they're popping away, we can add in our dried red chilies. We can break them up a little bit later. So just get them in. And we can add in our other whole spices, our aniseed, star anise, our cumin seeds, and the hing asafoetida. One other bit of aniseed in there, and just temper those spices in the hot oil. Don't worry about it smoking a little bit. Especially with ghee. Ghee's got a nice high tolerance for heat, so it won't spoil like vegetable oils can do. And if you're worried about using ghee, you want to know whether it's healthy or not, see my other video that I made about how to make it. There's a little discussion about that there. So okay, we're going to go now in with our onions. We're also going to add in our chilies. Give that a quick stir. And the garlic. We're just going to soften this all down for just a couple of minutes, then we'll come back and we'll go to the next stage. It's been 3 or 4 minutes. We've just softened our onions slightly so they're nice and translucent, and we've cooked the rawness out of the garlic. Now we're going to add in our powdered spices. So we have our cumin, our coriander, our turmeric, and our chili powder, the deji mirch. And we'll put the garam masala in as a finishing spice. So just stir these spices into the onions, chilies, garlic, and just cook off those spices. We're just going to keep doing this, just stirring it, stop it burning. We're cooking at a fairly high temperature. We'll just do that for a couple of minutes and then come back for the next step. So we'll cook those for a minute. Now we're going to add in our butter beans. They've just been simply drained and rinsed from the can, and just stir them in. The smells that are coming out of this pan are incredible. It smells very distinctive of Gujarati cooking, particularly with the black mustard seeds and the hing. That's what does it. You really want to start experimenting with these spices. Now we're going to add some water. Now really this is up to your taste as to how thick you want the gravy, but don't panic about this because you can reduce it. So if you just cover the mixture there with some water, about that much, so just make sure all the beans and spices and whatnot are covered, and then we're going to bring this to a vigorous boil, and then we're going to add in the peanut butter next and the jaggery. Okay, so we've now got our butterbean curry at a nice vigorous simmer. So we add in our peanut butter. We've got 4 tablespoonfuls of the peanut butter here that goes into the pan. And then we're going to add in our jaggery. As I said, it's just about a tablespoonful amount, just crushed up. If you can't get hold of this, use brown sugar, that will be fine. But it has a particular tonal flavour to it, jaggery, that definitely brings out those sort of Gujarati flavours in your cooking, which is what I'm trying to get with this dish. So just mix in your peanut butter. This adds a lovely sort of creamy, obviously nutty flavour to the curry, but with the sweetness and those pungent spices, it really is fantastic. You really have to try this one. As I say, it's my own recipe, but I've obviously used a particular influence of spices to create this curry. You'll find that in Asian cooking they don't use the butter beans so much, more the kidney beans, the rajma, as they call it, but not so much the butter beans. There are a few recipes, but not so many. So now we've mixed that in really well, and we want to sort of cook this on a fairly medium to high. I'm going to take the heat down a bit now, medium to high sort of temperature, for about 6 to 8 minutes, and feel free to top it up with a little bit more water. If it gets a bit too thick, you can have it whatever consistency you like. If you want it very runny, that's fine, or if you want it a little bit thicker, that's also fine, as you like it. But you can top that up. But we'll just cook that for another, as I say, about 5 to 8 minutes. We'll just gauge it, and then we'll season it with some salt, and then our finishing spice of garam masala, and then obviously the most important part, the taste. Okay, we've been cooking that about 6 or 7 minutes now. I have added a little bit more water to it just to get it to the consistency that we want. You need to make sure that you stir it frequently to make sure all the peanut butter is nicely blended in. You don't want any big clumps of peanut butter when you're eating it, and that won't taste very nice. Now we're just going to finish this off. We're going to season it with some salt. I've got just over half a teaspoonful of sea salt. I go for less salt rather than more, personally, because of the health reasons. You can adjust your taste to get used to less salt, but I tend to find that in Asian cooking they use far too much of it. But certainly you just add what you feel is right, so season that, and then we go in with our garam masala, that 1 teaspoonful of garam masala, which again brings out that Gujarati sort of flavour because they use it extensively, particularly in the vegetarian cooking, whereas particularly in the Pakistani cooking they use it mostly with the meat dishes. In Gujarati cooking, Western Indian cooking, they use it with the vegetarian dishes as a sort of lifting spice to finish it off. So that is now done. We'll serve it up and do the taste test. And there we have it, butterbean and peanut curry, Gujarati style. Let's do the taste test. I think the only word I can use to describe this curry really is yummy. It's absolutely yummy. It's not hot and spicy. It's not the sort of dish you'd really want to make hot and spicy, to be honest with you, but it is pungent because you've got the mustard seeds, you know, you've got the red chili in there, you've got the hing, you've got the garlic, but you've got that sweetness from the jaggery, which with the peanut butter just makes this, it's absolutely yummy. If you don't like sweet curries, you can tone it down a bit, but I think it really, really works well with this particular style of curry. So I'd really encourage you to make this, and make it and tell me what you think of it. Post a comment underneath this video and tell me what you thought of this curry. And if you've got any questions, then feel free to post the question below the video. I'll do my best to get back to you. So if you've liked this recipe, please give me a thumbs up. If you found this channel for the first time, please subscribe. There are lots of videos on here, everything from British Indian restaurant style curry to home style curries to vegetarian, Gujarati, Bengali, North Indian cuisine, Punjabi cuisine. We're going to explore that a little bit later too. But we're going to be focusing on some BIR recipes in the not too distant future from Adi's kitchen after the visit that we had down there. And if you would like to replicate your favourite Indian restaurant style curries, then please check out my ebooks. There's a link below this video to my website where you'll find my ebooks, and there are over 40 videos that are not available on YouTube that accompany the recipe books with all sorts of your favourite Indian restaurant style curries, everything from Rogan Josh to jalfrezi to handi to shashlik and many other curry house favourites. There's over 40 odd recipes in those curry cookbooks. I will do a video next just to show you how the ebooks work. Some people don't know how ebooks work, and they're a little bit about ebooks, but they're very easy to use, very easy to navigate if you've got an iPad or some sort of tablet or computer. So I'll show you in my next video about that. But I also like to just mention that my first ebook, The Secret to That Takeaway Curry Taste, is coming out in print, and that should be available in the next few weeks. So if you're not interested in the ebook but you would like a physical book, then let me know about that. You can make a comment and I'll make sure that there's enough printed to meet the demand, but quite a few have asked for that, so there'll be a print version of my first book, and then if that goes well, we'll do a print version of the second book as well. So thanks for watching and happy currying.